You know that dream so many of us have, building a brand new home or maybe doing a big remodel. It's exciting, but let's be honest, there's also that little voice in the back of your head, right? Because we've all heard the horror stories, budgets that just explode, schedules that completely fall apart, and that beautiful dream home, it turns into a total nightmare. So the big question is, how do you make sure that doesn't happen to you? Well, let's dive in. This quote from expert home planner Andy Bozeman just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. If you don't really know how a house is supposed to be built, how can you be sure the people you're hiring do? You're basically handing over your biggest investment and just hoping for the best. And that is a really vulnerable place to be. And when things start to go sideways, it can feel like you're fighting some kind of monster. Andy Bozeman actually has a name for this thing. He calls it the dreaded builder beast. And it's the perfect name for the chaos, the confusion, and all the costly errors that just feed on missed steps and not having a clear plan. But don't you worry, because there is absolutely a way to tame that beast. So here's our game plan. We're going to introduce you to the expert who can help, then we'll check out his amazing visual roadmap, see how his whole system works, and finally show you how to start your own journey from total chaos to absolute confidence. So who is this guide who can get us through the woods? Well, meet Andy Bozeman. He's a home planning expert who has spent more than 50 years, yeah, you heard that right, 50 years in the trenches of the construction world, figuring out exactly what works, and maybe even more importantly, what doesn't. And when I say he has experience, I really mean it. Andy Bozeman has delivered over 43,000 projects. Just let that number sink in. That is a whole lifetime of solving real-world problems, all boiled down into one system for you. And his expertise isn't just local, it is global. He's put his principles to the test on projects in 56 different countries, which just goes to show you that the rules for a successful build, they're pretty much universal. But you know, numbers are one thing. The most powerful proof? It comes straight from his clients. This quote says it all. "We love our home. He thought of everything." That feeling, that complete peace of mind, that's exactly what his system is designed to give you. So how did he do it? I mean, how do you possibly take 50 years of knowledge and turn it into a tool that anyone, and I mean anyone, can use? Well, he created a roadmap, a visual guide to get you home. And here it is. This is the Home Building Timeline, created by Andy Bozeman himself. It's a comprehensive, illustrated, step-by-step guide for pretty much any home project you can think of. It's not some thick book you have to read. Nope. It's a visual map of the entire process, all laid out so you can see it in a single glance. Now here's why that visual format is such a game changer. A typical project list, it's just an endless scroll of words on a page. It's impossible to see the big picture. But with the illustrated home building timeline, you see everything at once. You know exactly what's coming next, and this is crucial, you know what should have already happened. Because missing just one little step, that's the #1 cause of all those home building horror stories. But the timeline is so much more than just a visual guide. It's really the heart of a complete system that Andy Bozeman designed for one simple purpose: to get everyone and everything in the right place at the right time. One of the core parts of this system is something called the beads keystone. Now, we won't get into every detail here, but just think of it as your critical checklist. It covers all the absolute fundamentals, the solid foundation of your project, making sure you avoid those common, super expensive mistakes right from the very beginning. And the timeline doesn't just leave you hanging. Andy Bozeman has built this entire ecosystem of resources around it. So as you move from one step to the next on the map, you can jump into companion handbooks, a whole library of his books, and tons of in-depth articles over on homebuildingtimeline.com for all the detailed guidance you'll need. So, what's the end goal here? What does this all add up to? It's really about taking that overwhelming, chaotic feeling of a building project and turning it into a simple, manageable journey. It's about swapping that anxiety for real, honest-to-goodness confidence. This slide just shows that transformation perfectly. On one side, you've got the chaos, that builder beast lurking in the shadows of a project without a plan. And on the other, you've got the clear, organized path of the home building timeline. The timeline is the weapon you use to tame that beast for good. Okay, I get it. At first glance, the whole timeline laid out like that, it can look a little intimidating, a little formidable. But Andy Bozeman designed it with a really simple secret in mind. You're meant to use it just like a kid's board game. See, you don't have to understand everything all at once. Not at all. You just start at the beginning and you move one space at a time. Each step is clearly marked. All you have to do is focus on the square you're on, and the system guides you to the very next one. It's really that simple. So, are you ready to trade in all that anxiety for a rock-solid plan? Here is exactly how you can get started on your own successful project. Your very first stop is the official website, homebuildingtimeline.com. That's where you can see the timeline for yourself, learn more about how it all works, and subscribe to get full access to the guide and all of those amazing supporting articles. And if you want to go even deeper and soak up all the wisdom and stories from his 50-plus years on the job, you can find his entire library of books. Just pop over to Amazon.com and search for the author, Andy Bozeman. So the final question is really for you. With a clear roadmap right there in your hands, are you ready to take control? Are you ready to get everyone and everything in the right place at the right time? To start that journey, head over to homebuildingtimeline.com and be sure to come back for more from home planning expert Andy Bozeman.